Today I have Steve Miller with me, and Steve and I go way back, and in fact I call him Mr. Vegas from time to time. We're sharing stories about old Vegas, the way Vegas was, and how it came to be where it is today. And I think I thought I was here in Vegas longer than everybody, but Steve said when he got here on Buffalo Road there were buffalo. So almost. Steve Miller, welcome to the segment.
Thank you very much, Greg.
It's
a pleasure to be here.
I understand you have a lot of experience with the master planning of Las Vegas.
I was there back in '83 when the mayor at the time, Bill Breer, and his council appointed a Blue Ribbon Committee to actually work with the county and to put together a master plan for Clark County. And I participated in that committee for over 3 years. We had regular meetings. We shared just all kinds of opinions from all kinds of people who were not only on our committee but brought in as guests to tell us what they felt we needed to do. And the culmination of the 3-year committee's assignment was to actually put together a pretty strong master plan that could be taken to the Nevada legislature and passed into law, and we did. And the essence of it was that the urban area would be surrounded by rural areas, going all the way up to the bases of our mountains here in the valley, and that outside of the downtown core and the urban areas that at that time were developing, the lakes and Green Valley and such, would be rural ranch estate land, which was 1 dwelling unit per half acre, zone for horses. That was going to surround the entire city, and it was going to keep our rural atmosphere alive, our western atmosphere that Las Vegas had thrived on for so many years. That particular master plan remained as law until 1991, when it was overruled by a new city council and a new county commission, and has been discarded. And what we see today in the surrounding areas that were once designed to be rural ranch estates are high-density apartment, compact lots, subdivisions, shopping centers, and the taxpayers over the years have been burdened with the infrastructure for the profits of the developers who decided to buy that land inexpensively, much of it from the BLM, and to produce the urban core now that has extended all the way up to the mountains. And so we don't really have the ruralness that was part of the original plan.
Yeah, I remember as we grew up in the city, you could go out west of maybe Rainbow or Torrey Pines, and it was all desert, and you could ride horses, and it was kind of that nice country feel that we enjoyed for years. And I know a lot of people who bought property on the outside areas, they bought it for horses, and of course the zoning laws changed and high density came out, and I can see that where that had that not changed, that we would have a lot different Las Vegas, probably a lot, maybe not quite as big, but it would probably be easier to maintain on the taxpayer, less police stations, fire stations, schools, infrastructure.
Well, you have to give credit to people like Mark Fine and even people from Del Webb's corporation when they put together the master plan communities of Green Valley and the lakes and Summerlin, because there they have managed to put the mix in a proper order so that we do have a mixture of public facilities, parks and schools, and higher density with lower density and meandering roadways and all. I mean, it's beautiful. I do agree that those areas are very nice, but the area that I'm particularly critical of is the southwest in Spring Valley. I think that's become high density. There's certain parts of the northwest out near Bob Taylor's ranch house and such that were supposed to have remained as rural, have become very urban and has taken from our heritage a lot of what you and I grew up to love and having been kids in this valley.
Sure. And we enjoyed a lower crime rate and the traffic situations. You didn't have so much of the hectic hustle and bustle of a big city life. Now we've kind of evolved into a little bit of a megalopolis. It's like it's one great big city and a lot harder to police and maintain.
Well, it's not been built with any order. There's no rhyme or reason for a lot of the zoning that has taken place. And so you'll come into an area, well, as an example, you go up the side of Sunrise Mountain and there's mansions. And then you come down a few blocks and you're in a very high crime urban area with, with all the problems of a big city. That was never designed to be that way. It's a matter of politics, allowing developers to buy the land inexpensively, say along the Vegas Wash, which now, of course, ended up being washed away in a couple of our floods. But a lot of the lands that have been purchased in the lower lying parts of the valley, I think have been abused by allowing higher densities where, in essence, maybe nothing should have been built. And we never considered the fact that we have a Beverly Hills on the side of Sunrise Mountain that is surrounded by something that is not supposed to be there. It's not that compatible. So that's not exactly proper planning as I see it.
Yeah, and again, giving credit to Mark Fine and Summerlin Corporation and Hughes Corporation for designing master plan communities, which helped the growth. And outside of those areas where there wasn't deed restrictions or conditions on the property, it is got a little, you got a pocket of old homes or apartments, like down by the university, which is a very nice area, as you remember. And, and then behind the Boulevard Mall was a prestigious area, and a lot of the folks have moved to Summerlin or McDonald Ranch or Seven Hills or some of the master plan communities, and they've moved and upgraded in those new areas. So it is, Las Vegas is a bit of a checkerboard, and the past is a bit of a checkerboard.
It was not supposed to be that checkerboard. It was supposed to be something like I just mentioned, with the rural areas surrounding the urban areas. And when you look at the actual geography here, you can see why. We're not like San Francisco, we're not like Brooklyn, New York, or other places that are developing from the inner city out. We're developing from the outer in, and it's based on the fact that we have so much surplus land surrounding the downtown or the core of the city and the Strip. We have a lot of still available land out there. So the developers are going out and building inexpensively in those areas, which is deterring from sales of the existing properties, which become rentals. And instead of doing what they did in San Francisco, of course, they can't go into the ocean. They began to redevelop their downtown. We're not able to do that. But I see some light at the end of the tunnel with Tony Hsieh and what he's done. He's brought some brilliant people in from California and other parts of the country, high-tech minds.